last Tuesday that there is no reason why we should let these two gentlemen hold us back in our development of music. So just so that I don't run into trouble, I'm just going to read what the board's decision was. The board of the 2019 CubiqGhana Music Awards deemed the actions of Shatta Wale and Stonebwoy to have flouted the terms and conditions of the scheme, brought the name of the event into disrepute, and therefore wish to sanction the two as follows. Painfully, I'm not, made to give such an announcement. Also, that both musicians are hereby banned indefinitely from participating in the nominations, selections, and performances at the CubiqGhana Music Awards scheme. Also, the two artists are hereby stripped of all awards they won at the 20th VGMA and are thus requested by the board to return all plaques in their possession to Charterhouse effective immediately. Furthermore, the two remaining awards announced on that night, unannounced at that night, that is Most Popular Song of the Year and the Artist of the Year, have for the 20th edition of the CubiqGhana Music Awards been nullified. The board of the VGMA is thankful to all stakeholders who helped to arrive at this aforementioned decision. Thank you very much. And I think that I'll let Mr. Francis Doku give you the details, and I'll apologize profusely for leaving. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The details of what the Chairman read are the details. There are three decisions that were made by the board in consultation with other stakeholders, no Artist of the Year, which maybe by interpretation would mean that Ebony still reigns. Thank you. We move on to the next item. He's not here.
The press statement. The press statement. George, the press statement.
That's what was mentioned. Oh, that's another. Yeah. Okay, so we'll look at the way forward for the VGMA. I think that, as Madam Teresa said, there's been a lot of conversation about what will happen to the music awards and all that, but that's time for us to ensure that we go on. So we'll ask Madam Teresa again to give us the way forward after here.
Okay, so do we want to rearrange the microphone? So okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This year, our chairman is Amanziba Natbru. We also will choose spokesperson. This year we had Ms. Dorinando and Mr. Francis Duku as our spokesperson. We also will make a team of researchers. Apart from the Charterhouse one, some of the people on the board are also made to do research. So these are the board members who sat together with management of Charterhouse to make the decision in here later. Thank you.
Good morning once again, and welcome to our next show. I think it's very essential for us to recount the events of last Saturday.
I don't think she mentioned that.
As we all know, the whole nation and actually beyond, maybe the rest of Africa was looking at us with so much excitement as Ghana got ready for the 20th anniversary of the CubiqGhana Music Awards. For someone like me, it was a very big deal because personally in the media and also in the music industry, The VGMAs or Ghana Music Awards is one event that saw me grow. For those of you who have been around for a very long time, I was the first red carpet host, and if you've seen pictures from back in the day, I was that little boy who was going to become a man. So it was
So Charterhouse is set to make a big announcement after last Saturday's Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. The event was marked by a brawl between Shatta Wale and Stonebwoy as the organizers subsequently withheld the two awards. So as you're watching on the screens too, we're trying to update us on who make up the board of the VGMA, who the members are, what the board goes through before they're able to announce who gets which award on the big day. But unfortunately, even before the event came to an end, it was marred by a scuffle between Stonebwoy and Shatta Wale. Let's go back to the Elisa Hotel and get the continuation of the press briefing.
Because this is a time where we're all selling Ghana to the rest of the world as a place to go in Africa. And in terms of investors coming to Ghana, people who want to invest in the music industry, people in the music industry actually going out there to look for sponsorship from corporate organizations, I don't think this makes us look good. My colleagues are going to address the rest of the agenda for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Dana Hobson and Mr. Kofi Ochoda. We'll go on to talk about what the VGMA means to us, what it means to the board, what it means to the organizers, what it means to the industry, and I believe also what it means to the entire nation. So we'll call on Mrs. Teresa Ayoa, the CEO of Charterhouse, to tell us what the VGMA means.
Did a grand launch, wonderful experience, and then we proceeded to go on tour around the country. We went to Kumasi. We did the nominees jam. We had a successful event. We went to, we came back to Independence Square, did the VGMA Experience concerts. We had another fantastic event. And surprisingly, all these two events were free shows, you know. And we came back to do the serious bit of the industry, which was the music business seminar, where we invited a lot of international speakers to come and share their experience with our musicians in a bid to help them determine a better future for their industry. So we had the music business seminar, which was titled The Future of Music Business. And then we worked really hard to put together a grand final event. So
So that was the CEO of Charterhouse, Teresa Ayoa, who was updating us on the events they went through before we came to the final day for the VGMAs, updating us on the nominees jam in Kumasi, and the fact that they had put in a lot to make sure that the final day for the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards became a success until it was marred by a scuffle between Stonebwoy and Shatta Wale. She stated, as you heard her, that they were not happy about the event, and so Charterhouse is making sure they are doing all they can to make sure that they resolve whatever scuffle has happened between Stonebwoy and Shatta Wale. We'll go back to Elisa Hotel and listen to the rest of the feed. So even as we're preparing, I want you to know that Charterhouse is set to make a big announcement after last Saturday's Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. The event, as we already know, was marred by a brawl between Shatta Wale and Stonebwoy, as the organizers subsequently withheld the two awards. So she earlier on explained on News 360 that the two awards were withheld because it involved the two artists, Shatta Wale and Stonebwoy, and they are set to really tell us who gets which award, whether Stonebwoy is taking the Artist of the Year or who is taking what award, it's expected that that big announcement is likely to be made at the press conference. Let's go back and listen to her.
And that's all we've been doing ever since we set out on this journey. And that's why we've created so many platforms other than the Ghana Music Awards to be able to expose the various creative talents that we have and open up opportunities for them to make a livelihood from their God-given creative talents. And we believe so strongly in that. And to a lot of the creative talents on the market, if you talk about the music talents, the presenting talents, the comedy talents, and various creative talents across the spectrum of the creative economy, we have contributed greatly. So that shows you that what we do is beyond just organizing an event. It's a belief in the entire creative economy. And we have been unrelentless in our efforts to project it positively and to try to attract corporate interest and attention who could travel to Ghana. And we are having very progressive conversations with them in that regard. We collaborated with DSTV to be able to project this event across Africa. It's a relationship that we embarked on about 3 years ago to be able to show Africa that this is what Ghana's industry has developed to. This is what we can do so that we can even attract such big international content like the global concert that was held in South Africa, etc. We should be able to show that we can do such programs in Ghana. We have the capacity, we have the manpower, we have the technical infrastructure and all the logistics that can do it. So we want to really project Ghana in that light. And that's why we went to great lengths to ensure that the look and feel of this year's anniversary was going to be different. It's going to have that international look. And in line with that, we also decided that we needed to sell this vision to the industry. And usually when you gather them and talk, it's as if the conversation goes over the heads. So we thought, let's pick some key leaders in the industry who are currently practicing. So we zeroed in on the 4S, as we say. And then we reached out to them to say, let's meet one-on-one and let's explain to you the vision of this scheme. So for those of you who follow our social media pages, you'll see that we had lunches and dinners with these artists, explaining to them the vision of the event. If any artist, we have a three-layered voting scheme, and for some categories we have a 2-layered voting scheme, and it's a combination of these two voting exercises that determine the outcome of the night. We as organizers have no input as to who wins what. The most we probably would have is just one single vote out of the thousands that are cast. And so after all these engagements, we also begged for their collaboration to make this celebration a befitting one and a glorious one. And they all promised to collaborate and to cooperate. So we were very excited and thought we were on to a good thing. And then even the night before the event, we had a pre-dinner. We felt that after the international guests had come to be part of the seminar, we needed an opportunity to bring them even closer to the artists so they could gain more value out of the interactions. So we had international guests from the Mobile Awards in the UK, Kanya King, CBE. She has organized the Mobile Awards for about 23 years, and she's received several national honors, including being knighted by the Queen as an OB before and now a CBE. So we invited her to be part of the scheme. We invited speakers from Sony Records and Orchard. We invited speakers from MTV Base, speakers from Standard Chartered to have a conversation with us about wealth management, and speakers from Vodafone about how to maximize our digital economy. These were profound interactions that we have really designed to really support the industry and help them derive more value from this event. So we brought them all together and we invited the Artist of the Decade nominees as well as Artist of the Year nominees. It was a very close-knit, just about 30 people at at Movenpick the night before the event, so they could gather and network and interact and foster collaboration, so they understand that we are an industry. We all belong to one industry, and we need to work together to make the industry grow and the industry shine and thrive. People have talked about what security arrangements and all of that. I mean, we have been doing this running events for 20 years, not just the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards, but so many other kinds of events, a lot of corporate events. We've done events in stadiums, in squares, independent squares and parks, and you name it, every kind of event possible to be done in Ghana. We have done them, from the big to the medium to the small. We've done them all. And so we have experience when it comes to security arrangements and all of that. I just mentioned to you that we even did event Nominees Jam in Kumasi, and we did in Independence Square. These are events that have even open access, where you cannot even screen 15,000 people, and yet violence did not erupt. So we did put in place adequate measures, as we have done, and we worked with the security forces to do that. And everything was proceeding smoothly till the altercations that happened on stage. And for us, that just marred everything for us. But I must say that we thank God that it could have been worse than it was. And we keep asking ourselves, what were they thinking? We felt that the actions that occurred were very selfish. They were thinking of only themselves and not the greater good of the industry and the greater image of Ghana as a country, because we're being viewed by the world. And it was a moment of madness that I'm sure they will live to regret forever, because it was definitely not well thought through. We would like to say thank you to the security forces that were able to bring calm and control, calm and order to the night. And also want to say thank you to our sponsors, Vodafone, who stuck with us. I mean, their line remained unbroken. The top executives stayed the night with us through all the fracas. And for us, that was an unflinching show of support. And I want to say a big thank you to Madam Patricia Obonai, the new CEO of Vodafone, for being able to show full support to us even in our crisis moments. I want to say thank you to our other sponsors and partners who also stuck the night with us. KPMG, they stayed throughout the night. DSTV, they stayed throughout the night. TV3, Standard Chartered, they all stayed to see to the event came to a fitting end. And we really want to say a big thank you to them, because that's the kind of support you need when they support you through thick and thin. And these are the kinds of collaborations that we've been investing so much effort and energy in building. And we are just hoping that this incident will not be a deterrent to other companies that are looking at our industry and wanting to associate. And so I would also like to thank the other artists who stayed and showed great showmanship in coming back on stage to perform. Samini, thank you so much for lifting the mood on the night and getting it back on the road. Thank you to Kwame Eugene, Abrantia Machidede, for continuing the show with full energy, to King Promise, to Medical, and to Benna Boy, for all remaining unfazed and staying through to finish the concert. Thank you so much to Chairman General Kwame Safakai and Bella Mundi for staying throughout the show and helping to restore calm on the night of the event. Thank you so much to DJ Black for also holding his post. I mean, when these things happen, we have to be able to call people to order and not allow them to win by staying our ground. You know, when an incident happened in Manchester on the other Ariana Grande concert, the following week or two, they were back there at the same venue holding the same concert. And that is how that we can fight, and we will not allow miscreants in society. industry is bigger than these two personalities. Let's begin to celebrate the artists who won the various awards. From the end, in fact, if this incident hadn't occurred, I believe that this awards, this particular results, would have been the perfect. Everybody would have gotten something. Everybody of substance who deserved it would have gotten something on the night. All the nominees who did really well last year, I think, were reasonably rewarded. And so can we start telling their stories, their success stories, and not spend the whole period on this negative aspect. We've dealt with it, we've spoken about it. We are here to address it finally. And for us, as Charterhouse and as the board, we really want to put it to rest after this interaction and go on to start telling the positive stories of the event, because we worked too hard to celebrate our 20th anniversary, and we will not allow for it the story, our success, to be downplayed by this incident. We thank God that it wasn't, there were no serious casualties, and it could have been worse than it was. But we thank God that by His grace, it was what it was. And we want to take the key learnings out of it to go forward and make our preparations better, incorporate all the lessons we've learned in where there were security lapses. We will address them and look forward to continue to give you great events and continue to project the image of our creative industry positively. We call on you to join us to project our industry positively. You are all members of our industry. Let's not beat ourselves over and over and over. Let's come together, let's unite and project this industry positively. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Teresa Ayoade. We'll come to the decisions that the board took, and we'll announce that. But before then, before we call on the chairman of the VGMA board, Amantiba, to read out to us the decisions of the board. There are some conditions that are attached to the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards, and in a statement, if you recall, that was released by Charterhouse after the event, mentioned, referenced that. So we need for everybody to know what these terms and conditions are, which musicians, once they sign on to the VGMA, are supposed to stick by. We'll call on Marco Krokomante to let us know what these terms and conditions are.
Good morning. As I read, the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards scheme is not mandated to give cash or any other incentive to artists beyond the plug. Where any such incentive is given, it will be given only to artists that attend the event and pick up their awards themselves. Do I continue or I start because of the microphones getting close? I should start. Okay. So I start. The Vodafone Ghana Music Awards scheme is not mandated to give cash or any other incentive to artists beyond the plug. Where any such incentive is given, it will be given only to artists that attend the event and pick up their awards themselves. The VGMA board has the right to dismiss, disqualify, or bar any artist who abuses the scheme. The board or any of its members or the organizing body, with or without any just cause, or put the brand into any kind of disrepute. Charterhouse Ghana runs an open door policy where all grievances can be channeled and resolved without any such invectives being held. I think it is that simple, straightforward. So we can move on from now. Thank you.
So now, to the meat of why we're here, and we'll call on the chairman of the VGMA board, Mr. Amanziba, to mention that to us.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Due to another very pressing engagement, I'll have to just briefly, so that the details will be offered by Mr. Francis Doku, because I should have left about an hour ago. Thank you. We decided at a board meeting last Tuesday that there is no reason why we should let these two gentlemen hold us back in our development of music. So just so that I don't run into trouble, I'm just going to read what the board's decision was. The board of the 2019 Vodafone Ghana Music Awards deemed the actions of Shatta Wale and Stonebwoy to have flouted the terms and conditions of the scheme, brought the name of the event into disrepute, and therefore wish to sanction the two as follows. Painfully, I'm not, made to give such announcement. Also, that both musicians are hereby banned indefinitely from participating in the nominations, selections, and performances at the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards scheme. Also, the two artists are hereby stripped of all awards they won at the 20th VGMA and are thus requested by the board to return all plaques in their possession to Charterhouse effective immediately. Furthermore, the two remaining awards announced on that night, unannounced at that night, that is most popular song of the year and the artist of the year, have for the 20th edition of the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards been nullified. The board of the VGMA is thankful to all stakeholders who helped to arrive at this aforementioned decision. Thank you very much. And I think that I'll let Mr. Francis Doku give you the details, and I'll apologize profusely for leaving. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The details of what the chairman read are the details. There are three decisions that were made by the board in consultation with other stakeholders of the year, nor artist of the year.